Mercedes remained, therefore, by his bedside, and M. Morel went away, making a sign to the Catalan that he had left his purse on the chimney-piece. But availing himself of the doctor's order, the old man would not take any sustenance. At length, after 9 days of despair and fasting, the old man died, cursing those who had caused his misery, and saying to Mercedes, "If you ever see my Edmund again, tell him I die blessing him." The abbe rose from his chair, made 2 turns round the chamber, and pressed his trembling hand against his parched throat. "And you believe he died?" "Of hunger, sir, of hunger," said Caderousse. "I am as certain of it as that we two are Christians." The abbe, with a shaking hand, seized a glass of water that was standing by him half full, swallowed it at one gulp, and then resumed his seat, with red eyes and pale cheeks. "This was, indeed, a horrid event," said he in a hoarse voice. "The more so, sir, as it was men's and not God's doing." "Tell me of those men," said the abbe, "and remember too," he added in an almost menacing tone, "you have promised to tell me everything." "Tell me, therefore, who are these men who killed the son with despair, and the father with famine?" "2 men jealous of him, sir, one from love, and the other from ambition, Fernand and Danglars." "How is this jealousy manifested?" "Speak on." "They denounced Edmond as a Bonapartist agent." "Which of the 2 denounced him?" "Which was the real delinquent?" "Both, sir, one with a letter, and the other put it in the post." "And where was this letter written?" "At La Réserve, the day before the betrothal feast." "'Twas so, then, 'twas so, then," murmured the abbe. "Oh, Faria, Faria, how well did you judge men and things!" "What did you please to say, sir?" asked Caderousse. "Nothing, nothing," replied the priest, "go on." "It was Danglars who wrote the denunciation with his left hand, that his writing might not be recognized, and Fernand who put it in the post." "But," exclaimed the abbe suddenly, "you were there yourself." "I," said Caderousse, astonished, "who told you I was there?" The abbé saw he had overshot the mark, and he added quickly, "No one, but in order to have known everything so well, you must have been an eyewitness." "True, true," said Caderousse in a choking voice, "I was there." "And did you not remonstrate against such infamy?" asked the abbé. "If not, you were an accomplice." "Sir," replied Caderousse, "they had made me drink to such an excess that I nearly lost all perception." "I had only an indistinct understanding of what was passing around me. I said all that a man in such a state could say, but they both assured me that it was a jest they were carrying on, and perfectly harmless." Next day, sir, you must have seen plain enough what they had been doing, yet you said nothing, though you were present when Dantes was arrested." "Yes, sir, I was there, and very anxious to speak, but Danglars restrained me." "If he should really be guilty," said he, "and did really put into the island of Elba, if he is really charged with a letter for the Bonapartist committee at Paris, and if they find this letter upon him, those who have supported him will pass for his accomplices." "I confess I had my fears, in the state in which politics then were, and I held my tongue. It was cowardly, I confess, but it was not criminal." "I understand, you allowed matters to take their course, that was all." "Yes, sir," answered Caderousse, "and remorse preys on me night and day." "I often ask pardon of God, I swear to you, because this action, the only one with which I have seriously to reproach myself in all my life, is no doubt the cause of my abject condition." "I am expiating a moment of selfishness, and so I always say to La Carconte, when she complains." "Hold your tongue, woman, it is the will of God." And Caderousse bowed his head with every sign of real repentance. "Well, sir," said the abbé, "you have spoken unreservedly, and thus to accuse yourself is to deserve pardon." "Unfortunately, Edmond is dead, and has not pardoned me." "He did not know," said the abbé. "But he knows it all now," interrupted Caderousse. "They say the dead know everything." There was a brief silence. The abbé rose and paced up and down pensively, and then resumed his seat. You have 2 or 3 times mentioned a M. Morel, he said. Who was he? The owner of the Pharaon and patron of Dante's. And what part did he play in this sad drama? Inquired the abbe. The part of an honest man, full of courage and real regard. 20 times he interceded for Edmund. When the emperor returned, he wrote, implored, threatened, and so energetically, that on the second restoration he was persecuted as a Bonapartist. "10 times, as I told you, he came to see Dante's father, and offered to receive him in his own house, and the night or 2 before his death, as I have already said, he left his purse on the mantelpiece, with which they paid the old man's debts, and buried him decently, and so Edmund's father died, as he had lived, without doing harm to any one. I have the purse still by me, a large one, made of red silk. And, asked the abbe, is M. Morel still alive? Yes, replied Caderousse. In that case, replied the abbe, he should be rich, happy. Caderousse smiled bitterly. Yes, happy as myself, said he. What? M. Morel unhappy? Exclaimed the abbe. He is reduced almost to the last extremity, nay, he is almost at the point of dishonor.